Hello beautifuls, my name is Epic Treasure, and this video today is to show you some leaked achievements online and also the most recent updates from Bucky and information in regards to new pals in Palworld. So the new achievements that we can see unlocked. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Jump in the Discord channel, link in the description below. There's a channel in there that spits out the information, the updates, as soon as Bucky posts them, literally the same second, which is a sneaky thing to do. But that is the first place to see it also without all of the noise. But the two achievements that have been leaked are the Sovereign of Feybrake Realm defeated Bjorn and Bastagor. So we've seen them before in the trailer. So they will be, I guess, the Tower Duo. That's interesting that there's only two achievements that we can see there. I would imagine that there would be more, but for some reason we just see two. So I'm curious to know if there's just one tower, for example. The other one is Invader from Space, right? So this again ties into the whole idea that I've mentioned before, that the community has mentioned before with that trailer that showed the Japanese scene, right? Remember we saw the Japanese scene, Japanese building. There was a crate over on one side, which I said looked very similar to Craftopia's space theme that they had at the end. So the windows that they had weren't very attractive, but they had glass window space theme, right? So as you leveled up the different materials, etc., space was the last one, I think, from memory. So here we see this specific achievement, which says Invader from Space, summoned and defeated Xeno Lord. So obviously our summoning, I assume our summoning, whatever that thing is again, our summoning chamber will be used again for Xeno Lord, which I guess will look very much like Xenogard, I suppose, but a heftier boy. So again, this alien space theme comes into play as we progress in the game. So we sort of dial back and have a look at what ways Palworld can progress in regards to materials, etc. So again, we look back at Plasteel. The video that I just released today is a very long video. It's very well worth it, and it goes into materials that you will likely need for the new content to prepare yourself for the new content, and Plasteel was one of them, just because it's the last in the sort of tech tree type of thing. It's the last ingot based material to use. So it's an incredible guide. I promise you'll love it if you're deep into it. So having a look at the origin of this leak, and this is across multiple places too, on Reddit, Ragnar, and there's an incredible conversation happening over here, as always in Reddit. You can always rely on Reddit. Don't know if people already noticed, but the new achievement popped up. Raid boss seems to be an alien pal Xeno Lord. Well, we know what Xenogard looks like. So, and Xenogard is lit and beautiful. So I'm excited about that. I really am. Now, when we have a look at the conversation, we can scroll down and have a little look at what's going on with other people's minds. There's so many incredibly bright people in the community. It never surprises me. But very interesting indeed. Hope it's not tied to a media-like event like the other Xenos from Lexino says that. And Ragnar says slabs probably come from the new island dungeons like others, just like Bellinor's slab. I think because it specifically says summoned, that we'll be using the summoning feature just like we did with the other ones. That's my guess. It's the most sort of sensible, reasoning for it. D-Scan said you can turn the spawn rate up for meteors, like every 20 to 30 minutes. You can put them and they just non-stop. If you put the meteors on 1, they will fall all the time if you're up in the SJ area where the cherry blossoms are. So there's a tutorial on that on the last video that I did, which was how to prepare for Feybrake, which is all speculative indeed, but when you know, I guess. We'll see what happens. At the end of the trailer, a dragon-like pal appears out of the boss summoning altar. I'll have to go watch it again. I think it should, but more like you use media fragments to summon. That's really, really interesting, because when I was last putting together the base, I was sort of looking at what's important, what would be poignant to have with this release, what would be poignant to have in Feybreak. So circuit boards is obviously one of them, because it is, we knew that it was going to be not necessarily space theme, but, futuristic-ish. And lo and behold, one of the things that I was sort of fixated was how are these meteors falling from the sky going to play into the new content? And obviously they will. So I'd like to tack that onto items that we will need for Feybreak. So I would be mining a lot of meteorite fragments. And again, the best place to do that is around SJ Island. They fall all the time. Again, in that video, you'll see how to set those settings to, and I'll put timestamps on them very soon, how to speed up those drops. Makes you wonder if they're related. Maybe the invaders are the calamity that your dragon is supposed to strike down. It's interesting because the other creatures that are flying around just look like your dragon, but they're black, I believe. Really interesting. So this is a very fascinating post by Icy Purchase. Look at Stallion Nox entry 2. Guardian deity of the Galapagos island known as the Nightcaller. In the past, when the calamity struck the land, it soared into the sky and sealed away the threat by casting the island into eternal darkness. If these aliens are the calamity, they've been here before. For some reason now, Dragon is responsible for handling the next calamity, and I'm not sure why. Regular Frostallion has a very similar entry to Frosty Noct as well, saying it sealed away the threat by casting the island into eternal winter. Makes me wonder if it's a cyclical thing. Additionally, Frostallion lives in the land of Absolute Zero in the Astral Mountains. Why are they called the Astral Mountains anyway? Interesting. Dragon lives on Mount Obsidian. Both islands have evidence of prior civilization being there, which was destroyed. And this is why I love the community so much. They just dive so deep into the lore and take time to understand it, or I'm just building away. The Dragon statues perhaps were built after the last calamity. The Dragon and Xenolod also look like foils of each other. If a Stallion Noct shows up as an alpha pal in Feybreak, an island that seems to be all about darkness and dark pals, then I'd believe this random idea even more. Celine's entry seems to hint at a cycle as well. Who is this Icy Purchase? Good Lord. Beautiful. Saying that no one knows what will happen when her moon is full, and that gets more full with each passing generation. She also comes from meteors. I really want to know who this Icy Purchase person is. On top of all of that, Bucky has said that there are rumors that there is a city or civilization floating up above oh my god, if I can ever say it right, Palpagos Islands. Perhaps that's where these invasions are coming from. ETA. Oh, and another thing I noticed, the entries specifically use the word island, singular. They don't say islands, of which there are obviously many. I didn't clearly explain that in my post. I think that it may indicate the calamities were limited to a certain specific islands where the civilizations existed, rather than affecting the entire archipelago. So replacement NO4400 said maybe the responsibility falls to Dragon, because Frostallion and Frost Noct both used the bulk of their powers to stop it the last time, hence the introduction of the player and Dragon to make up for the loss of power. This might be why Frostallion secluded on a small frozen lake on a small wintry island, rather than the entire continent being frozen or engulfed in darkness. Maybe it cycles so that the main legendaries can take a rest between the cataclysmic events, but one thing's for sure, whatever built those structures were tens of thousands of years ahead of current in-game humans. And if they're gone, well, it'll be interesting DLC. And then Icy Purchase replies, I also think it's interesting that you can see the world tree from both Jetrag and Frostalion spawn points. If Frostalion Noct is an alpha and Feybreak and also has a clear view of the world tree, we'll start to wonder if the purpose of the world tree isn't to regrow the world after the calamities. I don't know if they've weakened themselves, although I do think that it's interesting. But I do think the dragons probably showed up after the last calamity and the statues were erected afterwards because it was understood that the dragon would be the next saviour. I also think this helps support the cyclical idea, although it's ironically a circular argument. Because for whoever is writing the PAL deck to understand that there'll be another calamity in the future, I would think that there would have to have been at least 2 others in the past. Otherwise, they would just think, well, glad that's over. And the second one hits and another legendary PAL shows up afterwards. They'd be like, okay, we get it now. And replacement reply is interesting as well. If the world tree is still there, meaning either the calamity cannot destroy it or purposely leaves it alone. And IC Purchase replies, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe they just don't want to develop civilizations on the islands for whatever reason. Mass PAL enslavement, who knows? Also, if any of these random guesses are true, and the island is southwest of Mount Obsidian, then I would expect the Alpha Frostalion to spawn on the north coast of the new island. And IC Purchase also adds in, and another thing I noticed, the entries specifically use the word island singular. They don't say islands, which are many, which we mentioned before that. So there's a lot of talk over on Reddit in regards to that, which is very interesting, really interesting. So, I think that mining those meteors might come in handy. They might very much apply to the summoning of the Xenolord. I'm not sure. Let us just jump in very quickly. Let's get rid of that screen. Let's get rid of that window capture here. And then I'll get rid of my camera that is shooting at the roof. And pull this screen over to the middle here. Alright. Yes, confirm. Yes, confirm. Want to have a look at infrastructure. Food. Shivers, where is it? I think it's under PAL. Viewing cage. Now this thing's covering the front of it. Other. There it is, summoning altar. So the summoning altar is 100 stone and 20 paldium. I can't imagine that they're going to use different summoning altars. I would find that very hard to believe that they're going to have a different summoning altar for Xenolord. I sound like such a nerd saying that. But I would not be surprised if it is slabs, because it is a summoning feature, that achievement. I wouldn't be surprised if it does incorporate the need of meteorite fragments for that. I would not be surprised at all. So that's going to be interesting. So tack that on to the things to prepare for, which I think mentioned maybe in it a little bit, but I couldn't really understand why now that I've seen these achievements, that it does have that heavy space theme to it too. So I think it's going to be very interesting to have a fly around the island and see what hints that there are of ancient civilizations and past civilizations that might give us some insight into what these things are. But it just puts an incredible new sort of layer and depth on just a game where you use pals to work for you and, go to dungeons and do all the basic kind of stuff. But it's when people dive deep into this that I have much more respect than before. So it's going to be an interesting one indeed. We're just going to fly off. Back to our SJ Island, which is up here, and certainly just spend a little bit of time grabbing the meteorite materials, and just really, storing them, because I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, that's something else I did need to show you. Somebody mentioned that they spawn every 30 minutes, which is not true. When you go to, we go to return to title, and I'm going to show you how to make the spawn quicker. If you want to, you can go the hard way, not do it if you want to. But right now, if you're maxed out, like, why struggle anymore? It's weird to me. You do you, but I think this is a great idea to do. Change world settings. It won't break anything. Go to custom settings. Go right down to the bottom. I think not right. Here it is. Meteorite supplies drop interval. Set it to 1, and they will drop all the time. The new release from Bucky tonight was another art piece. This is the second night in a row. Introducing Smokey, art drawn by one of our in-house artists. It's got the character there. There is a dog. It's got sort of sparkles on its mane. I'll bring it up on the screen now. Let's just do that now. Put that there. It's in announcements. Here we go. This will make life a little bit easier. Window capture. Discord announcements. Here we go. So here we have it here. So this one up here was the day before that showed, oh baby, you're allowed. So that was that one, which is absolutely psychotic butcher. And if you do look at the art for Feybreak, you can see the cluster of the evil stuff right in the middle at the top. Let me try and grab the picture for it. We're going to grab the picture for that. Let's pray to God that I've got it hidden here somewhere. Do I? I don't know if I do. Downloads. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Feybreak. I think I would, wouldn't you? I've been doing this all day long. I'm going to have to try and grab it from a different source. Maybe here we go. Give me the big picture. I'll try and put it here. Yeah, this will work. All right, I'll bring up the screen and get this off here. And then we're going to make it big. Okay, get rid of that. And then we'll just move it down a bit. Let me see if I cropped that wrong. There it is. Okay, done. All right, let's just grab a screenshot of that. And we're going to have a big look at this. So let's just go here, image, browse. It's a screenshot. Pictures, screenshots. There it is. All right, here it comes. All right, so as we can see up the very top, if it didn't have that bloody screenshot over it, we can see the new character, which has that weapon in her hand. We can see her corrupted creatures here. Let me see if we can just bring this out bigger. So we see, I don't know what the hell that creature is on the left-hand side with the ears. And then we see another sort of twisted creature over there. I don't know what that one's doing. There's legs all over the place. So we've got that corrupted, that red corruption there, which is in the trailer, that look in that weird medical facility. And then interestingly, on the right-hand side, we have a spider over here, the spider creature. And in the Discord, apparently, Bucky mentioned that they have the most amazing, interesting ability. And I suppose it's shooting webs that are electric, it seems. So that's an interesting one indeed. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but it looks cute as hell. We see the main character there with the armor on. I can't really tell too much. Now, this creature that we see that is standing next to her is the character Smokey, I believe. I'm going to show you this from the Discord channel now. Let me see if I can just move this out the way. I'll just try and make it smaller. put that there. And then we'll bring up the window capture here, which is new. So we'll scroll down the bottom here. We'll put the image above that. So here we've got Smokey. So it says 2 days left until PALWORLD FEYBREAK. Introducing Smokey, art drawn by one of our in-house artists. So here we have this dog, Smokey. We see the shiny tail on that. So this is our new sort of pal, I guess. It's definitely the same one. There's no ifs or buts about that. So it's interesting. This screen shows an awful lot when you look deep enough into it. Very interesting. We see that that tower all the way in the background. But FEYBREAK definitely has that Norse look to it. I can't shake it, but it's just weird, you know, like why do we have this sort of Celtic cross design here? You know, what is the story behind this, and why is the alien stuff happening? It's so strange and incredibly interesting. So this is Bucky's most recent post. It does say on it, tomorrow's final tease will be a video and will be something quite surprising with a cat next to it. I don't know what that means, but the previous day we see more art again, Prunelia and Petalia again. So we see Prunelia's a new one, this purple one, which is interesting. I mean, I love to see brand new pals, and it's fascinating to see how quickly people respond as soon as Bucky posts something out. It just goes non-stop. So that's the new information. The teasers, and they've been minimal. They've been very minimal. There's no ifs or buts about that. So definitely, I cannot recommend watching that video of how to get ready for FEYBREAK. I go through all the comments and the speculation from the community, and there is some wild stuff in there, especially about Portal, about what, goosebumps about that too. Those two panels there potentially having that Portal vibe. And remember that those, let me just scroll up, these creatures here can be sent apparently to dungeons. So how do we get them back? Again, Jillian noticed this. I can't believe how observant people are. But the orange and blue panel, the portal type of panel, matches very much all the crystals that we're seeing in those stills in the cutscenes too. Here we've got the orange crystals again, and we saw the blue ones earlier. So there's that combo there. And as you know, Pocket Pair with Craftopia, that's what Craftopia was very much about. It was taking the essence of other games and putting it into theirs, and that's another one. It could pay, you know, a homage to Portal. I'm not sure, but it's an incredibly bright take. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the speculation and everything like that. I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to join the Discord, link in the description below. And also, again, thank you so much for becoming a member if you have, or if you're just watching this, my incredible appreciation. I'm not a massive channel or anything like that, so it's a little bit hard sometimes to get seen by the algorithm. So I appreciate you for being part of me being seen. Much love to you. Many more building streams coming your way. Obviously, it's going to be absolutely wild. I love and leave you. Have an amazing day or night, and I'll talk to you next time.